My next guests both worked for Donald Trump. Senada Adzem is a former Trump International Vice President, and Barbara Ress is a former Trump Organization VP and Executive VP. Great to see you both. Barbara, let me start with you because you are featured quite a bit in this New York Times piece, and you were the first head of construction for Trump's company, the one that Fred Trump, Donald's father, said, really? You're going to hire a woman for that position? And Trump did at a time when not a lot of women were getting those kind of breaks.
Yes.
So at the time, and when your experience with him, did he seem sexist to you?
Well, you have to understand, you got to put it in the context of the time. This was 1980, so everybody was sexist, and we were in the construction industry, so that was sexist. But as far as Donald was concerned, no, he wanted the best person, and he thought I was the best person, and he picked me.
And so the Times talks about a moment that you had with Donald Trump where you started to think he was getting worse in that regard, that he was getting more sexist as the years went on.
Yes.
Is that true?
Absolutely. I mean, I worked for him for a long time, but from 80 to 84, we were very, very close, and we talked all the time, and he never came across as anything but, you know, very respectful of women. And when I returned back to the Trump Organization in 87, he was a little bit different the way he talked about women. In his office, you know, he would refer to women, and the women in the office, he would look at them a little bit like a leering kind of thing. I saw a change, a definite change. But the big change came in, I'd say, 1989, 90, when the whole Mueller thing happened. And, you know, when he did Playboy magazine, that was just, it seemed unreasonable and unheard of for him at the time. So I was surprised to see him change. Slowly but surely, he started saying more things that surprised me up to this day.
And I'm going to get the specifics of that, but I want to bring in Senada, who you have nothing but glowing things to say about Mr. Trump. You also experienced some language that may have been diminishing, but you say he was an equal opportunity offender.
Well, listen, he's a businessman, and I know that he doesn't have the greatest history in terms of what he says about many women, but in a professional setting, and I was running 4 different projects in terms of marketing between 2003 and 2007, he was extraordinarily professional. He was very tough, but he was fair.
Did you two know each other, Senada? You and Barbara?
I did not. Unfortunately, I didn't have the pleasure of meeting Barbara because I was there in 2003.
Okay. So did you, Senada, ever experience, you know, what you perceived as sexism? And on the other hand, did you experience Trump giving you and or other women unusual or extraordinary opportunities?
Absolutely not. It was equal opportunity in that, regardless whether you're a man or a woman, regardless of where you came from, what mattered to Mr. Trump were results. And if you produce results, if in my case it was actually setting record prices for different projects and getting, you know, incredible price per square foot and record sellouts, it didn't matter who you were as long as you produced results.
Barbara, what was the language you say he used that you thought was problematic?
When did I say he used language that was problematic?
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't really say he used language. He was talking and referencing women in a different way that was unusual. I gave for instance, in the article of the Times did, where he made a comment about women and their bodies when we were talking with an architect in 1991. Did
he say something to you about weight gain?
Oh, at one point, yeah, I had put on some weight. This was quite a bit later, and he said something like, oh, you like your candy, or something like that.
Now, another woman quoted in the Times piece said he did make comments from time to time, Senada, on women's bodies, but that she thought he meant it as to be helpful, she says. That he thought, quote, this is Louise Sunshine, she experienced these observations from Trump when she gained weight, but she saw it as a friendly encouragement. He thought I looked much better thin. I mean, what's your takeaway, Senada? Because, you know, a lot of women will be at home saying, you know, I don't need any man telling me I like my candy, right, when I put on a few extra pounds. So what's your takeaway when you hear it?
Well, as it happens, I ended up working for Louise Sunshine, who was mentored by Mr. Trump. And I'm going to tell you that she was actually much tougher than Mr. Trump when it came to performance or when it came to appearance. In real estate development and real estate marketing world, just like in the media world, you have to look very presentable. You have to look your best. We worked with ultra high net worth clients, with the super rich, and they expected you to look and be very, very presentable. And they expected you to look a certain way because you were more relatable.
Senada, are you going to vote for Donald Trump?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to discuss that because I have many clients who may not want to know what my political leanings are.
Fair enough. How about you, Barbara?
I think Hillary is better for the women with the different issues.
Fascinating. Thank you both so much for being here. We appreciate your candor and your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kat.